Welcome to Casting, where you choose the actors who get the role. Hi, I'm Catherine Dennis. I participated in the first series arc, where you chose the actors for A Room Forever. In this episode, you'll see the actors with their monologues. These are practiced individual pieces that they have used before to hopefully win other roles in other plays and videos. In the next episode, you'll see the actors take on small pieces of the actual play and interact with each other, showing you just how they would handle the material and give you a chance to be impressed and hopefully vote for the actor that you like in each role. So after the monologues, I'll be back to explain to you how to choose, how to vote for the actors that you want to get the roles of Maddie and Steve in Street Music. Enjoy.
I'm Ruth Kaufman, doing the Melville Boys by Norm Foster. Well, let me tell you something, mister. Don't tell me this isn't a date. Don't you dare. Your brother stood right here and asked us to go with you, and we said yes. I don't care whose idea it was. We went. We had dinner with you. We danced with you. We put dresses on. How many women were there tonight with dresses on? 3. Me, Loretta, and Mrs. Gunter, who's a cow and can't fit into a pair of pants anyway. So don't tell me this isn't a date. I haven't been out with a man in over 2 years, and I don't appreciate the fact that the first time I do go out, it gets passed off as a carpool. It's a date, and it's not over yet, so you better start showing me a good time and pretty goddamn fast. I'm Ruth Kaufman, going for the role of Maddie, and I encourage you to vote for me because I have had so many dates through all kinds of online dating. I even was writing a novel about all the different kinds of dates I've been on. So not only can I bring my actor experience, I can bring my dating experience and really develop the role of Maddie in Street Music. So please vote for me. Thank you.
Amanda Romano. You need me like you need a hole in your head. And you must already have one because it's quite clear that precious brain cells are leaking out by the thousands. I want to be a singer, Dave. I want to wail about those big red flags in the White Mansion, but I want to be inside it. And I want to have those crazy, kinky forays, and I want them to be indiscreet. Thus, political housewife does not enter the equation. Being the hand on your back, supportive from the shadows, the smiling wife waving princess waves from the presidential motorcade. None of that appeals to me. I want to live the protest song, rock star kind of life unchecked by popularity polls. And you say what better way to live than by confronting that which makes you want to puke? That statement is half intelligent, half Keanu Reeves. That's the problem, Dave. Half the time you're on the ball, and half the time you're a guy that can't act. And you want me to keep you in line? Well, I've tried for years. You just don't listen. You know, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Why the hell is it the woman's job to tell the man when he's being an asshole? Figure out for yourself what makes you a dick. Why is that my job? Hi, you should vote for me because I love to let characters grow. I just like to take them and see what happens with it. And I want to show you my inner rock star.
Hi, I'm Debbie Rizika. I'm going to do Eve from Nice People Dancing to Good Country Music by Lee Blessing. Maybe it was a marriage, who knows? Robert, when I think about the things you used to make me do, deadly things. Honey, your Uncle Robert is a deadly man. Deadly dull. Well, you should be scared. Honey, your Uncle Robert is a terminally boring man. In fact, he is the most boring man possible. He's a professor of Latvian. And when you're a professor of Latvian, there's only like about 8 other people in the world who care. And I found out that I wasn't one of them. I knew I was in trouble right then and there. Because he kept trying to make me one. Kept demanding that I care who the kings or whatever they were of ancient Latvia were. And anytime I said, no, honey, really, I don't care about the Hanseatic League, the angrier he'd get. And the angrier he'd get, the cooler and more logical he'd get. And that's when he got really dangerous. Because then he would try to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that I could not go through another day without becoming a dedicated scholar of Latvian studies. Well, finally I just looked at him and nodded dumbly and picked up a paper from one of his learned colleagues, one of the 8, and read it like a little schoolgirl doing her homework before bed. And he'd just look at me, beaming. In the morning, I'd always wake up knowing the coordinates of Riga and wanting to kill my husband. Well, I knew it wasn't a healthy situation. Along that time, I met Jim on a connecting flight, the most important flight of my life. He took one look at me and he knew just what to say. He said, I got a bar in Houston. You interested? And I was. Hi viewers, I really would like to do this role because the piece is so well written and it's so funny. I just really like working with fun stuff like this, and I just would love to do this piece. And I'd like to work with Frank.
Hi, my name is Ashley Tchaikovsky, and I'm doing a monologue from Crimes of the Heart by Beth Henley. Well, after I shot him, I put the gun down on the piano bench, and then I went out into the kitchen and made up a pitcher of lemonade. I was dying of thirst. My mouth was just as dry as a bone. I made it just the way I like it, with lots of sugar and lots of lemon, about 10 lemons in all. Then I added 2 trays of ice, and I stirred it all up with my wooden stirring spoon. Then I drank 3 glasses, one right after the other. They were large glasses, about this tall. Then my stomach kind of swelled all up. I guess what caused it was all that sour lemon. Then what I did was I wiped my mouth off with the back of my hand like this. I did it to clear away all those beads of water that had settled there. Then I called out to Zachary. I said, Zachary, I made some lemonade. Can you use a glass? He didn't answer. So I poured him a glass anyway, and I brought it out to him, and there he was, lying on the rug. He was looking up at me, trying to speak words. I said, what? Lemonade? You don't want it? You want a Coke instead? Then I got the idea he wanted me to call on the phone for medical help. So I got on the phone, and I called the hospital, and I told him my name and my address, and that my husband had been shot, and he was lying on the floor, and there was plenty of blood. I guess that's going to kind of look bad. I think I'm great for the role of Maddie because I actually have a lot of experience of the type of situation she goes on for quite recently, actually. And I just love to be on camera, and I love to act, and I think that I would bring great life to this role.
Hi, I'm Becca. Hemorrhoids. 12 hours talking about nothing but hemorrhoids. We should have been out of there before lunch. It's a 60-second spot. That's all. The actor comes out, talks about the painful itching, holds up the old box of suppositories, smiles, cut, print, fade out in the can. Simplest commercial we've ever done. We're just about to wrap when the creep from the company taps me on the shoulder and tells me I haven't made the product attractive. And then he says to me that I haven't made the hemorrhoids attractive either, that people will find them disgusting. I said, well, the people who have them won't find them disgusting, only the people who don't have them will find them disgusting. And anyway, again, they are disgusting, otherwise you wouldn't be selling this product to get rid of them. We danced around for 7 hours. Make the actor smile, make the actor frown, make the actor stand on his head. More light, less light, close up, long shot, louder, softer, faster, slower.
We have to shoot again tomorrow. Because after 12 hours of saying the same 4 lines over and over again, the actor starts to freak. He begins babbling lines from every commercial he's done for the past 6 months. So now, the only thing I have on film is of this poor bastard shoving suppositories down his gullet like they were popcorn, saying, "They melt in your mouth, not in your hand." Why do I do it? Why? I am dying for this role because I know the author. He's a great writer. I think it's a phenomenal, funny, clever script. And also because, once again, I would be attempting to do something I have never done. Play air guitar. Yeah!
Hi, I'm John Boss, and I'm auditioning for the role of Steve. Live or leave? Well, this is a wedding after all, and that's exactly what you're thinking when you're standing at the altar, isn't it? Live or leave? Well, of course you live, because you love her in some way. I mean, it's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come out of the sky and point to the one that you're supposed to be with. So one day you say it to someone. You say, "I love you." You basically phrase it as a question, but she accepts it as a fact. And then all of a sudden, there she is standing at the altar in a $3,000 wedding gown with tears in her eyes, and her nephew made the chuppah. So what do you do? What do you say? Do you say, "I was kidding, I was joking"? No, you live because you choose to live. And after a few months of staring at the alien form in the bed beside you, you think to yourself, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then all of a sudden you say it out loud, and then it's trial separation and couples counseling, and all the conversations are about her eating disorder and your Zoloft addiction, and you're constantly redefining and reevaluating and revisiting before you lose the deposit on the house, and the whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note, with your only copy of Gypsy spinning through the air and smashing against the living room wall. But still, in a larger sense, in the broader sense, it's better to have lived than left, right? You have no idea how many times I think about that. I really want to do this part of the webisode. I want to win the part because I think it's a nice slice of life kind of a play. And it involves real people, and I kind of connect with the character because I'm a mature man and I'm kind of putting myself out there, so to speak, in the dating scene. So I kind of connect a little bit with the character. And I like the challenge of doing that role and doing a little air guitar.
I'm John Norris. I will be doing a bit from a piece called About Sally by Ellen McLaughlin. What started happening? It was amazing. I began having the most crystal clear dreams, which I remember when I wake up. That's very unusual for me. I mean, they were mind-blowingly large and in color and, you know, wrap around. And in them, I'm doing things with this fabulous little girl who I realized must have been Sally. Well, actually, she told me. Yeah, we were sitting on the Eiffel Tower watching the flamingos. Well, never mind about that. Anyway, she taps me on the shoulder and she says, "Hey, if you haven't figured out by now, I'm Sally, twerp." I was right, of course. You know? And I looked at her. I marveled at her. The presence of her, my own child, it was utterly real. Well, she wasn't perfect looking or anything, and she had kind of nerdy, narrow shoulders and lank hair like Nancy, and she was pigeon-toed like me, but there she was, utterly real. And I'd wake up having just been with her, you know, and I'd roll over in bed, and I'd stare at Nancy's belly, you know, just because I knew she was in there, biding her time. I was so impatient to meet her, which I think, you know, might have been the cause, the fact that I made her premature. Oh, Jesus, you know all the bullshit you do to yourself. You know, really, the worst part of it was that she lived the whole afternoon. I actually held her as much as you can with those plastic mitts that go in the oxygen tent. But it's just, you know, hey, she actually looked at me late in the afternoon, and that look was so old, so sort of bemused, like, hey, can you believe this? You know, then she died. 5 minutes later, when I left the room. You know that word bereft? You know, I heard it the other day and I thought, that's it. That is. Anyway. Well. Anyway. That was Sally. Okay, so I'd be interested in doing this part because it's kind of this goofy young guy who really is confident about himself, but for all the wrong reasons. And it's a really interesting character. It's very funny, and it's got a lot of insight about human behavior. So it would be for a change a lot of fun to do.
Hi, my name is Brooke Sullivan. Today I'll be reading a monologue from The Best of Craigslist entitled "So I Accidentally Punched a Girl Last Night." So I'm at work Friday, and my boss comes up to me and says he needs me to work Saturday. So I come in Saturday morning, work all day, and at the end of the day he sits me down to let me know I'm being laid off. I only tell you that to give you a mindset of where I was when I got to the bar that night. So I get to the bar, and I sit down, start having a few drinks. It's about 7:30. I notice this guy at the end of the bar, he's looking at me. And he kind of gives me the drink out, and I kind of give it right back to him and go about my night. A couple hours go by, I'm enjoying my drink, and the bar kind of clears out. He comes down and sits next to me, buys me a drink, starts talking. I'm pretty drunk at this point, and I didn't know if he was this drunk, because this is where things started going wrong. I started telling him things like, I'm just not into that, and I'm not that way, and I thought maybe because I was so drunk that he wasn't catching on, or my words weren't making sense, or he was so drunk that he wasn't putting two and two together. So when he lunged in at me, I punched him in the face. And then I followed it up with a Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drop off my bar stool. Looking back, the second thing was kind of unnecessary, but I'm not a very good fighter, and I was in attack mode, and that's just what came to mind. So when the three guys behind me that were playing pool all night walked over and tapped on my shoulder to inform me that this gentleman I just punched in the face was in fact their sister, I got a little bit nervous. And it got a little bit worse as they started just beating on me. So 3 broken ribs later, a bloody nose, and what has to be a bruised kidney, I leave this night with 2 things. 1, I have to stop drinking so much where I'm confusing guys with girls. And it could have been worse. I could have confused a guy for a girl. Hi, I'm Brooke Sullivan, and you should vote for me in this project because, I mean, besides the fact that I love acting, it would be amazing to be in a project like this. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to humiliate myself on a date with my unbelievable air guitar skills. So if you vote for me, not only will you see a great film, you're going to see some of the most ridiculous rocking air guitar shreds you have ever seen in your life. Remember, Brooke Sullivan for this project.
Hi, my name is Jeff Marr, and the name of my monologue is Degas C'est Moi by David Ives. A stroke of genius! I decide to be Degas for the day. Why Degas? Well, why not Degas? Pourquoi pas Degas? Maybe the prismatic bars of color on the ceiling have inspired me. Or maybe it's all this cheap French wine I've been drinking. So, okay, fine. I don't know a lot about Degas. Let's see. Dead. French. Impressionist painter of what? Ballerinas, jockeys, flowers, that kind of thing. And all right, granted, I'm not dead, or French, or a painter of any kind. But are Degas and I not united by our shared humanity, by our love of coffee, deodorant? This is wonderful. In the bathroom, the very porcelain pullulates with possibilities. And will you look at the shine on that toilet? In the shower, it feels strange lathering an immortal. But then, it's even stranger that the immortal is lathering back. When did I become such a genius? I, who flunked woodshop in high school. Was it due to my Traumatic childhood? Did I have a traumatic childhood? Well, something must have happened because today I am great. I am brilliant. My name will live forever. Gone the daily dreary deja vu. Today, deja vu. Thank you. Hi, I'm Jeff Maher, and I should be cast in Street Music because I've always wanted to do some air guitar on film. I play real guitar, I love to play guitar, and I'm not just one of these fakers who just strum and move my fingers around. No, I have twirls and tosses and spins and windmills. That's why you should cast me. Thank you.
Here's how you get your votes counted. To choose the actor and actress that you want to see get the roles of Steve and Maddie, you get 2 votes for each role. So, to record them, place one, you can place it in the comment section here immediately after the video ends right here on YouTube, or you can send the email to audiencevotes@gmail.com. You can do the voting now. You can use up both your votes for each role. Immediately after this first episode. You could wait and do both after the second episode, or you can split them up and vote after each episode. Ultimately, you'll get to see who wins the roles. If you'd like to be notified right away when the next episode is posted of Casting Street Music, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll always know when the next episode's available of Casting, the series. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
I'm Frank Farrell. This casting series is all my fault. I came up with the idea, and we're having a very good time trying this new concept out where you, the viewer, will vote for which actors should go on to play parts in the final play that we film for you. Now, we're trying to raise some money. It's a Kickstarter campaign that we've started, and how you can find that Kickstarter campaign should be somewhere down below me on the screen. But I'm just trying to raise money so that I can pay the actors some money to cover their transportation. I'm asking for a little over $1,000, and what happens with Kickstarter is that you pledge money to Kickstarter, and until it reaches our goal, which is $1,020, until it reaches that goal, no money will be taken from you. If we reach that goal, money will be dragged out of your account, your banking accounts, and we'll be so grateful. So, $2 would be good, $5 would be good, more, of course, would be great. And, what Kickstarter campaign is really about is support. If we're a not-for-profit, or I've worked with lots of not-for-profits, and it's always about the money. It's not as much the money, it's just your voice coming through, supporting us, giving us a little money so that we could, in this case, share it with the actors, the playwright, our hostess, Catherine, Dennis, and our composers that we use for this series. So I'm just putting in a plea to you to check out our Kickstarter campaign, and if you have a few bucks you could throw our way and pledge, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this new series, Casting, and we'll see you online.